Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. The title of my speech is simple, yet powerful. Walk away from him. It may sound abrupt, but it holds a deeper meaning, one that speaks to all of us, regardless of gender, background, or life experience. Walking away from toxic relationships is one of the most empowering and transformative actions you can take for your emotional, mental, and even physical well-being. While leaving behind a toxic relationship may be difficult and emotionally charged, it is crucial for your growth and for creating space for healthier, more nurturing connections. Toxic relationships often involve patterns of manipulation, disrespect, and negativity, which can undermine your confidence, happiness, and overall sense of self-worth. Recognizing these patterns and making the brave decision to walk away is the first step toward reclaiming your personal power and moving forward in a more positive direction. Toxic relationships are not always obvious at first. They may begin with small issues, such as a partner or friend dismissing your feelings or making you feel inferior. Over time, these behaviors can escalate, leading to patterns of emotional abuse, controlling tendencies, or even verbal or physical harm. The tricky part is that toxic people often make you question your own reality, making it difficult to recognize the harm they're causing. They may make you feel responsible for their actions, manipulate your emotions, or gaslight you into doubting yourself. This can make it incredibly hard to break free because at some point you may start to believe that you deserve the mistreatment or that there's something wrong with you for wanting to leave. However, walking away from such relationships is a profound act of self-respect. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of love, respect, and kindness. Everyone deserves relationships where their needs are met, where they feel valued and safe. A toxic relationship, on the other hand, only serves to deplete your energy, compromise your happiness, and leave you emotionally drained. This type of dynamic, if left unchecked, can lead to long-term psychological harm, affecting your ability to trust others and even diminishing your self-esteem. The decision to walk away is often the hardest part. It's easy to become attached to someone, even when you know their behavior is harmful. You may feel a sense of loyalty, or you may fear the consequences of ending the relationship. If it's a romantic relationship, you may worry about loneliness or feel that you won't find someone better. In friendships, there may be a sense of obligation or guilt about leaving someone who has been in your life for a long time. These emotions are normal, but they are not reasons to stay in a relationship that is ultimately hurting you. Staying in a toxic relationship for the sake of loyalty or fear only prolongs the pain and prevents you from fully healing. Walking away means putting yourself first. It's an affirmation of your right to be treated with respect and dignity. It's important to understand that walking away does not make you weak or selfish. Rather, it demonstrates your strength in recognizing that your well-being is non-negotiable. When you remove yourself from a toxic environment, you create space for healthier connections to flourish. The people who truly value and care for you will support your decision to walk away, and over time you will attract individuals who bring positivity, trust, and mutual respect into your life. Another powerful aspect of walking away from toxic relationships is the freedom it brings. When you leave behind situations that drain you emotionally, you free up mental and emotional energy that can be used for personal growth, healing, and pursuing your passions. In a toxic relationship, you may feel stuck or trapped, unable to focus on your own goals or self-care because you are constantly dealing with conflict or emotional turmoil. Once you walk away, you regain control of your life and can start to prioritize your own needs and aspirations. The act of leaving behind negativity can be the catalyst for positive change in other areas of your life as well, helping you rediscover your inner strength and begin anew. It's also important to note that walking away from a toxic relationship doesn't necessarily mean cutting off all communication. In some cases, especially when it involves family members or long-term friendships, you may need to establish firm boundaries rather than completely severing ties. Boundaries allow you to protect yourself while still maintaining a level of respect and distance. This is especially true when dealing with toxic behavior that has been ingrained for years. In some cases, walking away might simply mean limiting the time and energy you invest in the relationship or distancing yourself emotionally. Walking away from a toxic relationship is not a sign of failure, but a testament to your growth and your commitment to creating a life filled with love, peace, and positivity. It takes courage to let go of something or someone that no longer serves you, And in doing so, you are taking responsibility for your happiness and well-being. Remember that no one is worth sacrificing your peace of mind or your self-worth for. When you choose to walk away, you are making room for healthier, more fulfilling relationships, and most importantly, giving yourself the opportunity to heal and grow. This act of self-love and bravery will open doors to a brighter, more authentic future where you are free to thrive. Walking away from self-doubt is one of the most profound and transformative actions you can take in your life. It's not an easy journey, but it's one that can lead to immense personal growth, confidence, and a sense of empowerment. Many people find themselves trapped by the negative inner dialogue that tells them they are not good enough, not worthy, or incapable of success. This voice of self-doubt can be debilitating, shaping how we see ourselves in the world around us. To walk away from it means to silence the destructive thoughts that keep us from reaching our full potential and to embrace a mindset of possibility, growth, and self-love. Self-doubt often starts as a quiet whisper, but over time it can grow louder and more persistent. It can be triggered by past failures, insecurities, or the critical voices of others. Perhaps you've tried and failed in the past, or maybe you've been told by others that you're not capable of achieving your goals. These experiences create mental patterns that reinforce the belief that you are somehow less than, that you aren't capable of reaching your dreams. The problem is that self-doubt doesn't just stay in your mind, it seeps into your emotions and actions, preventing you from taking risks, seizing opportunities, and moving forward with confidence. Walking away from this self-doubt begins with awareness. You have to recognize that these negative thoughts are not a reflection of who you truly are. They are simply learned patterns of thinking, often based on past experiences or societal pressures, and they do not define your worth. Once you become aware of how self-doubt manifests in your life, you can begin to question it and challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is there evidence to support it? More often than not, you'll find that the answer is no. Self-doubt thrives on assumptions, fears, and false beliefs. By questioning these thoughts, you start to break the hold they have on you. The next step in walking away from self-doubt is to replace those negative beliefs with positive affirmations. This isn't about blindly telling yourself you're perfect or that everything will always go right. It's about fostering a mindset of growth and possibility. Remind yourself of your strengths, past achievements, and the progress you've made so far. Even small victories are important to acknowledge, as they prove to you that you are capable of overcoming challenges. When you shift your focus from what you can't do to what you have done, it builds confidence and reinforces the belief that you are competent and capable of achieving great things. Another critical part of walking away from self-doubt is learning to embrace failure as part of the journey, rather than a reason to doubt your abilities. Many people hold on to self-doubt because they fear failure. They believe that failing at something means they aren't good enough or that they'll never succeed. But failure is not a reflection of your worth, it is simply a part of the learning process. When you fail, you gain valuable insights, refine your skills, and build resilience. Instead of allowing failure to fuel self-doubt, see it as an opportunity to grow. Every successful person has faced failure, but they didn't let it define them, they used it as a stepping stone toward greater achievements. A significant part of overcoming self-doubt is also understanding that it's natural to feel uncertain at times. No one is confident 100% of the time, and it's okay to feel unsure or to experience moments of vulnerability. The key is not to let these feelings control you. Acknowledge them, but don't allow them to dictate your actions. Instead of letting doubt hold you back, take small, confident steps forward. Each step you take, no matter how small, builds momentum and reinforces the belief that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. As you keep moving forward, you'll start to notice that your self-doubt becomes quieter and less frequent. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is another crucial factor in walking away from self-doubt. People who uplift you, encourage your growth, and believe in your potential can help you see beyond your own doubts. In contrast, being around negative or critical people can amplify self-doubt and reinforce limiting beliefs. Seek out relationships that nurture your growth and provide a supportive environment for you to thrive. These positive influences can act as a mirror, reflecting back your strengths and reminding you of your worth when you forget. Self-doubt often feeds on isolation, so it's important to remember that you are not alone in your struggles. Everyone experiences doubt at some point in their life. Reaching out for support, whether through friends, family, or professional guidance, can help you realize that your doubts are not unique or insurmountable. In fact, sharing your feelings with others can be a powerful way to confront and dismantle them. Talking through your doubts with someone who listens and supports you can provide new perspectives and help you see the situation in a more balanced light. Walking away from self-doubt is a journey that requires patience and self-compassion. You will not wake up one day and suddenly be free of doubt. It's an ongoing process of challenging negative thoughts, practicing self-love, embracing failure, and surrounding yourself with positive influences. But with each step you take, you will become stronger, more confident, and more capable of living a life that reflects your true potential. The more you walk away from self-doubt, the more you will uncover the limitless possibilities that exist within you. Embrace the journey, trust yourself, and know that you are worthy of everything you desire. Walking away from the past is a powerful and liberating act that can significantly impact your personal growth, emotional healing, and overall sense of well-being. Many people find themselves emotionally stuck in past mistakes, traumas, or regrets, holding on to experiences that no longer serve them. These memories, though often painful, can become defining features of our identity if we allow them to. However, the act of walking away from the past is not about forgetting or erasing what has happened, but rather about choosing to free ourselves from the emotional weight that these memories carry. It's about realizing that the past does not define who we are today, and that we have the power to create a new narrative for our lives moving forward. The past can be a heavy burden, especially when it is filled with regrets, missed opportunities, or mistakes. Many people struggle with the idea that they could have done things differently, and this often leads to self-blame and feelings of guilt. Perhaps you've made choices that you regret, or maybe you've been hurt by others in ways that still affect you deeply. These past experiences, while valid and real, do not need to hold you hostage. To walk away from the past means to let go of the emotional attachment to those memories and to stop allowing them to control your present. It's not about denying that these experiences happen, but rather acknowledging that you have the ability to release their power over you. One of the main obstacles in walking away from the past is the tendency to ruminate on it. When we dwell on past mistakes or hurts, we often find ourselves caught in a cycle of negative thinking. This constant replaying of events can prevent us from moving forward and from fully experiencing the present moment. The more we focus on the past, the less energy we have to engage with our current lives or to embrace new opportunities. Breaking free from this cycle requires conscious effort and a shift in mindset. It involves choosing to let go of the thoughts that keep you tethered to a version of yourself that is no longer relevant. You must remind yourself that you are not defined by your past actions or the actions of others, but by the person you choose to be today. One of the most important steps in walking away from the past is practicing self-forgiveness. Many people struggle with forgiving themselves for past mistakes or for things they wish they had done differently. However, carrying around guilt and regret only prolongs the emotional pain and hinders personal growth. Forgiveness is not about excusing the past, but about releasing its hold on you. By forgiving yourself, you create the space to heal and move forward. This process can take time, but it is essential for breaking free from the grip of past experiences. It's important to remind yourself that you are human, and mistakes are part of the learning process. You can use them as stepping stones to a better future, rather than letting them define who you are. Letting go of past trauma is another significant part of walking away from the past. Trauma can leave deep scars that affect your thoughts, emotions, and behavior for years. Whether the trauma comes from childhood, a relationship, or a life-changing event, the effects can linger long after the event itself has passed. The first step in healing from trauma is acknowledging its impact and allowing yourself to grieve. However, you do not need to carry the pain indefinitely. Walking away from past trauma does not mean forgetting it, but rather choosing not to let it dominate your life. Therapy, meditation, and other healing practices can help you process the trauma and release its emotional hold. By working through these experiences and giving yourself permission to heal, you reclaim your power and free yourself from the shadows of the past. The act of walking away from the past is also tied to the importance of living in the present moment. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain, but the present is where life unfolds. When you are preoccupied with past events, you miss out on the richness and beauty of the current moment. Walking away from the past means giving yourself permission to live fully in the here and now. It means letting go of the emotional baggage that prevents you from enjoying the present. Practicing mindfulness, gratitude, and self-awareness can help you stay grounded in the present moment, allowing you to fully experience the joys of life without being weighed down by what has already occurred. As you begin to walk away from the past, it's essential to understand that you have the power to create a new story for yourself. The past may have shaped who you are to some extent, but it does not have to dictate your future. By letting go of past wounds, regrets, and traumas, you free yourself to step into the future with a sense of possibility and optimism. You are not bound by the mistakes or challenges of your past. Rather, you are defined by your ability to learn, grow, and adapt. You have the power to create new experiences, build healthier relationships, and achieve your dreams, regardless of where you've come from. Walking away from the past also involves releasing the need for closure. Many people feel that in order to move on, they must have closure on past events or relationships. However, closure is not always possible, especially when others are involved, and it's often an illusion. Instead, you can create your own sense of closure by choosing to move forward and acknowledging that you are ready to embrace the future. You do not need permission from others to heal and move on. The power lies within you to create peace and release the hold that the past has on you. Walking away from the past is an act of self-liberation. It is about freeing yourself from the emotional chains that have held you back and choosing to step into a future filled with new possibilities. Letting go of the past allows you to create a new, empowered version of yourself, one who is not limited by previous mistakes or hurt, but is open to the opportunities and growth that lie ahead. It's a courageous and healing journey that will lead you to a life that is more peaceful, joyful, and aligned with your true potential. Reclaiming your power is one of the most transformative and liberating actions you can take in life. For many people, life becomes a series of reactions to external circumstances, demands, and pressures. They feel like they are living according to the expectations of others or the constraints of their environment. When you find yourself in this situation, it's easy to feel disempowered, as though your choices and actions are being dictated by forces beyond your control. However, the process of reclaiming your power begins with recognizing that you have the ability to take back control over your life. It's about recognizing your worth, setting boundaries, and making intentional decisions that serve your highest good rather than being influenced by external forces that no longer serve you. Reclaiming your power starts with self-awareness. Many people go through life without truly understanding their own needs, desires, or values. They may feel disconnected from themselves, constantly seeking approval from others, or trying to fit into roles that society has assigned them. This disconnect can lead to a sense of powerlessness because when you don't know who you are or what you truly want, it's easy to let others make decisions for you. The first step in reclaiming your power is to take a step back and really examine your life. Ask yourself, what do I want? What are my boundaries? What values are most important to me? Taking the time to reflect on these questions gives you the clarity needed to make decisions that align with your true self, rather than being swept away by external influences. Once you have developed a stronger sense of self-awareness, the next crucial step in reclaiming your power is setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential for protecting your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. They define where you end and others begin, and they help ensure that your needs are met without overextending yourself or sacrificing your values. Without boundaries, you may find yourself constantly giving to others, often at the expense of your own health and happiness. This is especially common in relationships where people may feel obligated to meet the expectations or demands of others, even when it's detrimental to their own well-being. By setting clear and healthy boundaries, you take back control of your energy and time. You decide what is acceptable and what is not, and you communicate these limits with respect and confidence. When you set boundaries, you affirm to yourself and others that your needs are just as important as theirs, and that you are committed to protecting your own peace and emotional health. An important aspect of reclaiming your power is learning to say no without guilt. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing others, or they worry that they will be perceived as selfish or unkind. However, saying no is an essential part of self-care. You cannot be everything to everyone, and you should never feel obligated to sacrifice your well-being for the sake of others' comfort or expectations. When you say no, you are prioritizing your own needs and setting a clear boundary that honors your time, energy, and emotional state. Saying no does not mean that you are rejecting someone. It simply means that you are making a decision that aligns with your values and allows you to maintain balance in your life. By practicing the art of saying no, you take back control over your choices rather than letting the demands of others dictate how you spend your time and energy. Reclaiming your power also involves letting go of limiting beliefs. For many people, their sense of power is diminished by deeply ingrained beliefs about themselves and their abilities. These beliefs are often shaped by past experiences, societal expectations, or messages from others. For example, you might believe that you are not capable of success or that you are not deserving of love or happiness. These beliefs can hold you back from reaching your full potential because they create an inner narrative that prevents you from taking risks or stepping outside your comfort zone. Reclaiming your power means challenging these limiting beliefs and replacing them with empowering thoughts. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, you start focusing on what you can do. You recognize your strengths, acknowledge your past achievements, and trust that you are capable of overcoming challenges and creating the life you desire. This shift in mindset is essential for reclaiming your power, as it allows you to break free from the chains of self-doubt and step into your full potential. Another crucial aspect of reclaiming your power is taking responsibility for your own life. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances for our struggles, but this mentality keeps us in a victim mindset where we feel powerless and helpless. Reclaiming your power means accepting responsibility for the choices you make, the actions you take, and the direction your life is headed. While it's true that we can't control everything that happens to us, we always have control over how we respond. By taking responsibility for your life, you empower yourself to make changes and take action that aligns with your goals and values. You stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to succeed or be happy, and you take full ownership of your own journey. Part of reclaiming your power is also learning to trust yourself. Trust is the foundation of self-confidence, and when you trust yourself, you make decisions with clarity and conviction. Many people struggle with trusting their own instincts, often second-guessing themselves or seeking external validation before taking action. Trusting yourself means listening to your inner voice, believing in your ability to make wise decisions, and knowing that you have the strength and resilience to handle whatever challenges come your way. The more you trust yourself, the more your confidence grows, and the more empowered you become to take on life's challenges with grace and courage. Walking away from toxic relationships is one of the most important and empowering decisions you can make for your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Toxic relationships can take many forms, whether it's with a partner, family member, friend, or colleague. These relationships often drain your energy, undermine your confidence, and make you feel unworthy or unimportant. In many cases, people remain in these relationships because they are either unaware of how damaging they are, or they feel trapped by guilt, fear, or a sense of obligation. However, the truth is that you are worthy of healthy, respectful, and supportive relationships. Walking away from a toxic relationship doesn't mean you are giving up or abandoning someone. It means you are choosing to prioritize your own well-being and peace of mind over the negative impact of the relationship. One of the first steps in walking away from a toxic relationship is recognizing the signs. Toxic relationships are often marked by manipulation, control, emotional abuse, criticism, or neglect. You might feel drained, anxious, or unappreciated after spending time with the person, and it may seem like no matter what you do, it's never enough. Over time, this constant negativity can erode your sense of self-worth and leave you questioning your value. You may also find that the other person is dismissive of your feelings, belittles you, or constantly blames you for problems in the relationship. In many cases, toxic people are also master manipulators, using guilt or shame to control your behavior or decisions. If you recognize these patterns in your relationships, it's crucial to understand that these behaviors are not normal, and they are not something you have to accept. Acknowledging that a relationship is toxic is often the most difficult part of walking away. It can be incredibly hard to let go of someone you care about, especially if you've invested a significant amount of time, energy, or love into the relationship. You may feel guilty for considering walking away, or you may convince yourself that things will get better if you just try harder or stick it out. However, the truth is that a toxic relationship rarely improves on its own, and in many cases, staying in such a relationship can cause long-term harm to your emotional and mental health. It's important to remember that your peace and happiness should never be sacrificed for the sake of another person's behavior. You deserve to be in a relationship where you are respected, valued, and supported. Once you've recognized the toxicity in the relationship, the next step is to set boundaries. Boundaries are essential in any healthy relationship, but they are particularly crucial when dealing with toxic individuals. Setting boundaries allows you to protect your emotional and mental space and assert your needs without feeling guilty or compromised. For example, if the person constantly belittles you or makes hurtful comments, a firm boundary could be communicating that such behavior is unacceptable and that you will not tolerate being treated that way. Boundaries also involve making decisions about how much time and energy you are willing to invest in the relationship. If the relationship is draining you, it's okay to take a step back and limit your contact with the person. Setting boundaries is not about punishing the other person, but about protecting yourself and taking control of your own well-being. Another crucial aspect of walking away from a toxic relationship is building the courage to leave, which often requires a deep sense of self-worth and self-respect. It's easy to get caught up in the guilt, fear, or self-doubt that comes with walking away from someone, especially if they have been a significant part of your life for a long time. You might worry about the aftermath, whether you'll be alone, whether the person will try to manipulate or guilt you into returning, or whether you'll regret your decision. These fears are natural, but they should not prevent you from taking action. Remind yourself that by staying in a toxic relationship, you are allowing the other person to dictate your happiness and well-being. Walking away is an act of self-love and self-respect, and it is an essential step toward healing and moving forward. After leaving the toxic relationship, it's important to give yourself the space and time to heal. Ending a toxic relationship can be emotionally draining, and you may experience a wide range of feelings, including sadness, guilt, anger, or relief. These emotions are normal, and it's essential to allow yourself to process them without judgment. Surround yourself with supportive people who understand your decision and who can offer encouragement and comfort as you navigate this difficult transition. Take time to reconnect with yourself and rediscover what brings you joy and fulfillment outside of the toxic relationship. Use this time to focus on self-care and personal growth, and remind yourself that you are deserving of healthy and loving connections. In some cases, walking away from a toxic relationship may also mean cutting off contact completely. This can be particularly difficult if the person is a family member or someone with whom you have a deep emotional connection. However, in many instances, maintaining contact with toxic individuals only prolongs the pain and keeps you tethered to their negative influence. It's important to understand that sometimes distance is necessary in order to protect yourself and to allow the healing process to take place. Cutting contact doesn't mean you hate the person or that you are trying to punish them. It simply means that you are choosing to put yourself first and to protect your emotional and mental health. While it may feel daunting to walk away from a toxic relationship, doing so can ultimately be one of the most empowering and life-affirming decisions you can make. Leaving behind a toxic relationship opens up space for new, healthier connections with people who respect and appreciate you. It allows you to rediscover your own worth and rebuild your sense of self-esteem. By walking away, you are reclaiming your personal power and taking control of your own life. It's a powerful reminder that you have the ability to choose the people and experiences that align with your values and contribute to your happiness. Remember that walking away from a toxic relationship is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and self-respect. It's a courageous act that demonstrates your commitment to your own well-being and happiness. While the process may be difficult and painful at times, it is also a journey toward healing, growth, and self-discovery. By choosing to walk away from toxic relationships, you are creating space for positive, healthy, and nurturing connections that support your emotional and mental health. Trust in your decision and know that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. Forgiving yourself is one of the most transformative and empowering actions you can take on your journey of healing and personal growth. It is a crucial step in letting go of the past, reclaiming your power, and creating a future filled with peace, self-compassion, and purpose. For many people, self-forgiveness is one of the hardest challenges they will face. It involves acknowledging mistakes, accepting imperfections, and learning to move forward without being weighed down by guilt, shame, or regret. However, learning to forgive yourself is essential because it allows you to release the emotional burden of the past and create space for self-acceptance and love. The first step in forgiving yourself is acknowledging that you are human, and that mistakes are part of the human experience. No one is perfect, and everyone makes mistakes at some point in their lives. These mistakes, while they may be painful or regretful, do not define who you are as a person. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that a past error or poor decision makes you unworthy of forgiveness, but that belief is both false and limiting. The reality is that we all have the capacity to learn, grow, and change. You are not defined by a single mistake or failure. What matters most is how you choose to move forward and what you learn from your experiences. Another important aspect of self-forgiveness is acknowledging the impact of your actions and taking responsibility for them. This step is essential because it allows you to understand the consequences of your decisions and the hurt that may have been caused to yourself or others. Taking responsibility does not mean you have to carry the weight of guilt or shame indefinitely, but rather it involves recognizing the impact of your actions and making amends where possible. Self-forgiveness requires honesty and self-reflection, allowing you to confront any uncomfortable emotions and face the consequences of your choices with maturity and integrity. By doing so, you demonstrate that you are capable of taking ownership of your actions and are committed to learning from your mistakes. Once you have acknowledged your mistakes and taken responsibility for them, the next step in self-forgiveness is practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding that you would offer to a close friend or loved one. It's easy to be your own harshest critic, especially when you've made a mistake. You may feel angry, disappointed, or frustrated with yourself. However, self-forgiveness requires you to show yourself compassion, just as you would for someone you deeply care about. Understand that you are not perfect, and that it's okay to make mistakes. Instead of berating yourself, speak to yourself with kindness and encouragement. Remind yourself that it's okay to stumble, but what matters is your ability to rise, learn, and grow from the experience. By practicing self-compassion, you begin to break free from the cycle of self-criticism and allow yourself the grace to heal. Another powerful aspect of self-forgiveness is letting go of the need for perfection. Many people struggle with self-forgiveness because they hold themselves to unrealistic standards. They may believe that in order to be worthy of forgiveness, they must be perfect or that their mistakes are unforgivable. The truth is that perfection is an illusion, and holding yourself to unattainable standards only creates unnecessary suffering. Forgiving yourself requires letting go of the belief that you must always get everything right. It's about accepting your imperfections and embracing the fact that mistakes are part of the process of growth and evolution. Perfection does not lead to personal growth, imperfections do. When you release the need for perfection, you open the door to true healing, acceptance, and self-forgiveness. Forgiving yourself is a continuous process. It's not something that happens overnight, and it may require ongoing effort and practice. There may be times when old feelings of guilt or regret resurface, and that's okay. Self-forgiveness is not about forgetting or pretending that mistakes didn't happen. It's about choosing to let go of their power over you. It's a journey of self-acceptance, growth, and healing. Each time you forgive yourself, you reinforce the idea that you are deserving of love, kindness, and understanding, and that you are capable of moving forward with grace and wisdom. Forgiving yourself is one of the most profound gifts you can give to yourself. It allows you to heal, to grow, and to step into the future with a renewed sense of peace and purpose. It is a choice to no longer be defined by past mistakes, but to embrace the present moment and move forward with compassion and self-respect. By forgiving yourself, you unlock the door to true freedom, self-love, and empowerment. It is a powerful act that transforms your relationship with yourself and sets the stage for a more fulfilling and joyful life.